Magandang hapon, Pilipinas! Ito po si Lisa Macuja, ang inyong balerina ng bayan na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood ng RHTV, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Noong December 31, nabalot ng kalungkutan ang pagpasok ng bagong taon para sa maraming alagad ng sining sa Pilipinas dahil sa pagpanaw ng isang haligi ng tanghalan sa Pilipinas, si Father James B. Reuter. Bagamat isang paring Jesuita, nakilala si Father Reuter bilang isa sa mga pinaka-maimpluwensyang personalidad sa larangan ng teatro at ng mass communications sa ating bansa sa mahigit na 60 taon. Bukod dito, isa rin siyang namumukod-tanging guro, spiritual director, athletic coach at glee club director na naging mentor ng napakaraming tanyag na personalidad ngayon sa larangan ng business, public service at performing arts. Sa hapong ito, samahan ninyo kaming bigyang parangal ang mga ginintuang alaalang naiwan ni Father James B. Reuter.
Si James Bertram Reuter ay isinilang noong May 21, 1916 sa Elizabeth, New Jersey. Una siyang dumating sa Pilipinas bilang seminaristang Jesuita noong 1938, subalit nakulong siya kasama ang iba pang dayuhang relihiyoso ng salakay ng mga Hapon ng Pilipinas noong 1941. Pagkatapos ng giyera, bumalik siya ng Amerika upang tapusin ang pag-aaral at dito na siya naordinahan bilang pari noong 1946. Ipinadala siya sa Fordham University para kumuha ng kurso sa Mass Communications noong 1947 at makalipas ang isang taon, pinabalik siya bilang misyonero sa Pilipinas kung saan siya namalagi ng mahigit na 60 taon. Si Father Reuter ay nakilala bilang mahusay at malikhaing guro, manunulat, direktor at producer sa teatro, radyo, telebisyon at pelikula. Una niyang itinatag ang Family Theater Production noong 1948 kung saan naglabas siya ng mga values-oriented Catholic radio programs na dinala rin niya sa telebisyon noong 1953. Noong 1967, naging direktor siya ng National Office of Mass Media ng Simbahang Katoliko sa Pilipinas. At nang sumunod na taon, itinatag niya ang Philippine chapter ng JESCOM o Jesuits Engaged in Social Communications na nakabase naman sa Ateneo de Manila University. Nang ideklara ang martial law, naglathala si Father Reuter ng isang pahayagan, ang The Communicator, kung saan binatikos niya ang mga human rights violations na nangyayari sa ilalim ng diktadurya ni Marcos, dahilan kung bakit ipinadampot ang pari sa salang subversyon. Noong panahon ng EDSA Revolution, naging susi ng komunikasyon si Father Reuter dahil sa Radio Veritas na di naglaon ay nakilala bilang Radyo Bandido. Sa pagbabalik ng demokrasya, bumalik din siya sa telebisyon sa pamamagitan ng magazine show na Family Rosary Crusade. Naging abala siya sa larangan ng social communications bilang pinuno ng Federation of Catholic Broadcasters of the Philippines at iba pang mga organisasyon. Ilan sa maraming karangalang natanggap ni Father Reuter ay ang Outstanding Service Award mula sa Santo Papa John Paul II noong 1981, ang United Nations Decade Award noong 1988 at ang 1989 Ramon Magsaysay Award. Taong 2009 nang tuluyan niyang iwanan ang kanyang active ministry dahil sa lumalalang karamdaman. Pumanaw si Father Reuter noong huling araw ng Disyembre 2012. Nagpupugay ang Art2art sa dakilang alaala ng isa sa mga haligi ng sining at komunikasyon sa Pilipinas, si Father James B. Reuter.
Kasama po natin sa hapong ito para magbalik tanaw sa mga alaala ni Father James B. Reuter, ang isa sa mga taong naging malapit sa kanya na halos 50 taon, si Sister Sarah Manapol, SPC. Sister Sarah, welcome to Art2art.
Thank you very much for, I never thought that I would be here at all and I would be facing you. You know, Art2art, but face-to-face also, you know. I never thought I would ever be here.
Thank you very much, Sister. I know that our studio is very far, so thank you for gracing our show.
But I love
today.
to watch you dance.
Thank you. Sister, can I start by asking, what does SPC stand for?
SPC is Saint Paul Le Charte. Saint Paul. We were founded in France. and so it's in short that we are SPC.
Okay, so that's your
Sir
order.
de Saint Paul de Chartres in French, you know.
And
Yes.
sister, I understand that you first met Father Reuter exactly 50 years ago in 1963.
Yes, in April 1963.
Can you describe to us that encounter?
I was studying in my last 2 years of college were in Dumaguete, St. Paul Dumaguete, and then nobody would think that I was going to enter the convent because they were telling, I mean, I was engaged in many things.
I know you were a
especially-
ballet dancer.
Yeah, and I was supposed to, in fact, that same year I was supposed to have a scholarship in New York City Ballet. Then my teacher went ahead, and I told my mom, I said, Ma, I really would like to enter na. No? So the sisters in Dumaguete said, I only had 2 years of St. Paul education, but I grew up in the public schools and non-sectarian private schools. And then, so they told me, never enter without seeing this Jesuit priest. And siya ang chaplain of St. Paul College, Dumaguete, Manila. And since there was a strike in the plane, so I had to take the boat. And I was made to stay in St. Paul, Manila that time. And so they had a letter for Father Reuter. And I didn't know who he was then. I didn't see him in pictures either. And then one day I was asking, second day sa akin, I asked the sisters, and I said, where can I see this priest? The sisters in Dumaguete are asking me to see him, because I had a letter for him, and they told me, nandyan sa auditorium. And then I said, which auditorium? And they said, Fleur de Lis Auditorium, because it's summer workshop, drama workshop.
Yeah.
And so the next morning I went there, but I was on my way to the information desk because they said, you pass there because you might get lost this way. So I went, and I saw this man. I didn't know who he was. And he was at the information desk, nakatelepono. And with a banlon shirt, blue banlon shirt and white pants.
Wow, you remember
I
all the
remember
details.
You know why? Because I'm a movie buff. That's why talagang nobody would believe I was going to enter the convent. And I said, oh my God, this guy looks like, Paul Newman.
Oh, he looked like Paul Newman.
Yeah, and
that's
then-
true.
And
That's
then
true.
I was I said, oh my God, Lord, look at this. I'm entering the convent, but look at the things that you're sending me to, And then, and then when I went nearer, I could hear his voice, very, very gentle voice. Then the sister at the information, I said, Sister, where is the Fleur de Lis? Then she said, go this way, and that's the Fleur de Lis. And then I said, I need to see this priest. And you know what she told me? Siya yan.
Siya yan,
And then sabi niya, but then he will be at the auditorium. So I waited for him there. And then that was the beginning. And then one of the guys who was practicing with him in the theater was saying, Miss, here's the script. And then Father said, guys, she's not going to she's not joining the play. She's going to enter the convent. And everybody's saying, oh. They were all so. But it's quite strange. From the very beginning, it was the theater. The introduction was in the theater, and I would never thought that with the years that I'd been working with him, it has been media and the theater and the arts and all that with him, music and sounds and all that stuff.
Okay, well, aside from, of course, the theater, the location of your first meeting and, his being there in the theater, what were the qualities of Father Reuter at that time that made you realize why it was worth the trip from Dumaguete to see Father Reuter before you entered the convent?
I could see when I was, every day, he told me, before, after Mass and all, after your breakfast, come to the auditorium. So every day I was there, and what I noticed with him was, I was watching, I said, what a preparation for me for the convent, you know, a month before entering. But I could see his patience. And he was very, very gentle with them. And when I think back now, you know, the gentleness, the kindness, and then the humility. Sometimes the member of the cast would say, would argue with him, but then he was so gentle in correcting them, and that's why I said, there is something in this man, you know. But from the very start, really, Liza, the first time I really met him, there was this certain aura in him, I could call that. He was really very holy, and yet I never saw him first in a sutana. I saw him in that blue shirt and pants, you know. So I never thought that he was a priest, but there was something in him that you could see right away, you know, and the gentleness of him, the kindness that I really. Well, he was very holy from the very beginning that I saw him, not thinking that he was a priest then. You know.
Okay, so sister, how did it happen that after you met him, after you entered the convent, you continued to work with him after becoming a nun?
That one is also, I mean, God's ways are really strange, because after my final vows, we were supposed to be assigned different places, and now, first time that I was assigned in St. Paul, Manila, I didn't have final vows yet. I was assigned in kindergarten, and that's where he probably he really discovered me already. But I was not assigned to him yet. But I was taking care of, for 4 years, the kindergarten. And the kindergarten plays that he used to write. Oh, they were beautiful kindergarten plays. And I was the one teaching the kids, so I was working with him. With the faculty of the kindergarten, so probably he discovered me that way already. Anyway, but to go back to your question, after final vows, we were supposed to be assigned. I was supposed to be assigned in Basilan. There was a radio station
Basilan,
there.
okay.
And Mother Provincial then, Mother Madeleine, may she rest in peace, she wanted me to go into media. And then, so she said, maybe you could go into radio, and the bishop there is asking for a nun. But at the end of the, I mean, you know how God plans it. At the end, he changed his mind and said, I'd rather have my own young priest to be trained in media. So I was the only one left among my group mates in our formation house. And Mother Madeleine called up Father Reuter and said, I have a little nun here, and I have no assignment for her because she was supposed to be in Basilan. But Father was already the director of the National Office of Mass Media then.
Okay.
And Mother Madeleine said, and Father Reuter told Mother Madeleine, give her to me. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning.
So how would you describe Father Reuter as an artist? Well, particularly as a theater director, and, you know, can you give us some unforgettable experiences with him as a stage performer?
Oh my.
Some anecdotes. We only have 15 minutes, sister.
Okay, yeah, I know. Well, one of the things that he would always say, because he would let me do many times music and sound. And there's one of the things that I would love to remember now, when I would miss the cue, and then he would say, Sarah, my duck, that's the wrong cue. Rewind, rewind, rewind. You know, we were using open reel.
Open reel at that time.
You know?
Okay.
Rewind, rewind. And then when I would find the cue, then he would say, oh boy, atta girl, that's and now you're cooking with the guys. Atta girl, something like that. Very kanot siya. And he never, but he was very gentle with the cast. And especially with children, you know, and especially with the girls. And that's why he was so fatherly. And members of the cast, no matter how much he would make them repeat and repeat the act or repeat the lines, they would not get angry with him or anything like that, because there was something in him that made them just love him, you know. And he was so patient until you get the what would you call this, the real cue, and it's amazing because the patience of the man was really something. But the only thing that we would probably would say was he would say, "Damnation!" He would now lights, focus, and pay attention, focus,
Okay.
and then he would say, "Turn to the right, turn to," you know how it is in theater,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So it's very amazing that. These things, when you try to think back, all of this come back beautifully. Yes.
With the many plays that you worked with, which ones were your favorite?
There were many, but one of the most memorable was the one we brought around the whole world, because during the canonization of San Lorenzo Ruiz, we traveled to Rome, of course, and then we never expected that we would be that Vatican Hall and Pope Paul VI Hall, and that seats 10,000, and it was standing room, and Pope John Paul II was one of one of those who watched it, and at the end. The Swiss guards all made us line up. So we were thinking, I said, oh my God, maybe they're sending us out. No, the Pope came to each one of us and gave us rosaries. I still have that rosary up to now. You know, and the humility of, I have pictures of that, the humility of Father Reuter lining with us, you know, and because the Pope was shaking each one of us, shaking our hands and blessing us, and with Cardinal Sin, of course. They were great friends, Father and the Cardinal. They had beautiful things together, beautiful memories.
Yes. That was actually really striking about Father Reuter, is despite all the success, he
was
really
very
remained humble.
Very humble. And we traveled around the world that time. And then in 1997, we traveled around the world again. And then there was one time we traveled also the World Youth Congress in Lourdes in 1981, and then 86, 87, we were in the States, and then in 1997, that was the longest that we traveled, 3 months.
Wow.
States and Europe.
Yes.
And it was really beautiful. And then I took a lot of pictures, and there's one big picture that I took of him while he was feeding the doves at Florence, you know, in the plaza, Piazza San whatever, and he was feeding the doves, and that's one of the beautiful things we had with him. But he was always very gentle with us. The first one who would fall asleep in the bus.
Okay.
He loved to sleep in the bus.
Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan tungkol kay Father James Reuter, kasama si Sister Sarah Manapol. Dito pa rin sa Art2art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa teatro, itatanghal ng dula ang UP ang pinakabagong obra ng mandudulang si Floy Quintos na pinamagatang Collection na nakasentro sa temang materialismo. Sa pagkakadiskubre ng isang antigong imaheng gawa sa ivory, magkakagulo ang mga mayayamang kolektor para mapasakamay ito, habang ang mga mahihirap naman ay naghahangad na mapunta sa kanila ang pagbebentahan nito. Ang collection ay mapapanood sa February 12 hanggang 17, February 20 hanggang 24, at February 27 hanggang March 3 sa Wilfrido Maria Guerrero Theater, Palma Hall, University of the Philippines, Quezon City. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, tumawag sa 926-1349. Magbabalik entablado ang comedy na Potted Potter mula January 30 hanggang February 3 sa Carlos P. Romulo Auditorium, RCBC Plaza, Ayala Corner, Senator Hill, Puyat Avenue, Makati City. Tinangka ng produksyon na ito na pagsama-samahin ang 7 libro ng Harry Potter series sa loob lamang ng 70 minuto. Tampok ang comic duo na sina Jesse Britton at Gary Trainer. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, tumawag sa Ticket World at 891-9999. Inihahandog naman ng Philippine Educational Theater Association o PETA ang The Wonder Twins of Bowak, isang modern adaptation ng Comedy of Errors ni William Shakespeare na Twelfth Night. Sa bersyong ito, pinaghalo ang pananamit at musika ng dekada 60 sa kwento tungkol sa industriya ng pelikulang Pilipino sa panahong natapos na ang tinatawag na Golden Years of Local Cinema. Kabilang sa cast, sina Chris Villonco at Chrome Cosio, bilang ang kambal na si Viola at Bastian, kasama sina Charmaine Centenera Buencamino, Boji Pascua at Arnel Ignacio. Mapapanood ang The Wonder Twins of Bowak mula February 1 hanggang March 3 sa The PETA Theater Center, No. 5 Amar Drive, New Manila, Quezon City. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 725-6244 o mag-email sa petatheater@gmail.com.
Start the year with an exciting ballet concert that highlights a colorful repertoire of classical and contemporary pieces from two cultures. Watch Ballet Manila and the Yewon Dance Company of South Korea combine their visions and talents in Duo, featuring a unique array of modern choreographies set against the backdrop of folk legends and traditional dances and performed with the timeless discipline of classical ballet. Duo with Ballet Manila and the Yewon Dance Company goes on stage at 5 p.m. on January 26 at the Aliw Theater and on January 27 at the Star Theater. Duo is presented by the Manila Broadcasting Company, Aliw Theater, Star Theater, and Ballet Manila. For tickets and inquiries, contact Ticket World at 891-9999 or ticketworld.com.ph or call Ballet Manila at 525-5967.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin para magpugay kay Father James Reuter ang kanyang protege at malapit na kaibigan, si Sister Sarah Manapol. That's the word, protege.
Yes.
So you are
yes.
now continuing Father Reuter's
I
works.
hope, but I can never go beyond whatever. He's too huge a figure to, what would you call this, but maybe to promote whatever he loved, yes. And His holiness is something that, it's really something I can hardly describe, Lisa. And I was honed, he helped me hone my spiritual life. And I can never be, I can never stop thanking God for him. He was the gift, if I must say so, it's the best gift of my life. My spiritual life honed by him. Despite all the work in art and theater and all that in media, and yet the spiritual timber was very, very strong. And that's what makes him so outstanding for me, And it just happens that my family and his family are very close too.
Okay.
And before my family migrated, the last one who migrated was my mom, and I didn't know that she entrusted me to him. And then on the phone also, his mom always would tell me, give my love to Jim, and then please take care of him, something like that. So there was that kind of mutual taking care of each other. But there was something in him that was really so holy, And then once when we were traveling, and we were in New York, and this time we were in upstate New York, and he said, we will have no performance in upstate New York, but call your brother. And then so he said, we will tell him that we are staying there, and he has to look for a hotel for everybody, or parents, whatever. And my brother put everybody in the inn near their house. And I said, wow, now is my chance to be with everybody in the cast. Because we were always divided into, distributed in different places. And he said, I want to stay with your brother, and you stay with me. And I thought there was one evening, oh my God, but I never thought it was like that. But he was not strict na magalit or something like that. No, there was just something. And then I later found out that he said, your mom entrusted me, I entrusted you to me, so I have to take care of you, something like that. I said, oh, no wonder, you know.
But did Father Reuter speak Tagalog?
No.
No.
No, and that's why it's like there's one thing he would say. Every time he would say something in Tagalog, many of us in the office would laugh, and that's why. And like for instance, one thing that we never forget when he would say, "You sing hindi kita." You know, hindi kita.
Malimutan. Malimutan.
Malimutan, you know. That was sort of, so he would never, it was fun with him that way, and he loves.
Did he ever become a Filipino citizen?
No, he became an honorary citizen in 1996.
Okay.
And then, what he told me was when they were by the Japanese and when they were saved in Laguna, and he said what made him really decide was when he saw the young Americans saving them, and he couldn't believe that such youthful people would be the ones saving them, you know, the Jesuits and Marinol sisters. And he said, since then I decided not to change my citizenship. But Congress and the Senate gave him honorary citizenship, yes, through Harrison Alvarez, yes.
Okay. There's a group called the Reuter Babies.
Oh yes.
What was Father Reuter? What did it mean to be a Reuter baby?
All of us, we call ourselves the Reuter Babies because these are the younger ones. The Ateneo Alumni Glee Club members and the older ones, they would call Father Tatang or Kamote. But kami, we would call ourselves Papa Bear. You know, and
okay.
we, yes, and we are the Reuter Babies, being the younger ones, of course, no? No, because every now and then when we would be acting with him, and we were the ones who were traveling around the world with him. And
and he was, of course, the father figure. That's
to
why.
everybody,
Yeah.
yes. And then, but that Papa Bear also had a history, because we were in Georgia and we were three of us. Vic Lopez, remember the light director, and June Dalit was our dance choreographer, and I and a few of the members of the cast were in that convent. And then the nuns told me, sister, there's a room ready for Father Reuter and Vic and June. So I went to him. I said, Father, I said, your room is ready. So I brought them there. When I opened the door, 3 members of the cast were already sleeping, you know, on the bed. And then when we went back not to our bus, and we were traveling with handheld radios. Maya, I could hear him. He said, Sister Sarah here, and Vic, etc. Then all of a sudden, give me the radio. And then all of a sudden he said, Cass, this is Papa Bear. So we were wondering, I said, Papa Bear. Then all of a sudden I remembered Goldilocks.
Okay, and the 3 bears.
The 3 bears. And then somebody's been sleeping on my bed, etc.
I see.
That was the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since then we called him Papa Bear. Yeah.
And Father Reuter was also had a big role in the EDSA revolution.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Can you tell us ano yung contribution ni Father Reuter dun sa EDSA revolution?
It's really great because he was already in Baguio giving a retreat, but that night, Saturday, I called up and I said, please wake him up, tell him to come down, something national is coming down. But to make it short, when he arrived Sunday noontime, and then I said, I have called the boys, meaning 10 members of the cast. And then he said, what boys? I said, the members of the cast, Papa Bear, I said. And then I said, for what? I said, well, the cardinal is asking if he can do something. So anyway, I explained to him. So he met us. And what we did was, what he did, he said, Sister Sarah, you man the station here. And then I'll send the boys, distribute the boys. EDSA, Santolan, Nagtahan, whichever. EDSA had more boys because it's long. And then he said, of course, June Kithley. He said, June Kithley will be in Radio Veritas with 2 younger boys, 13-year-old Gabe Mercado and 15-year-old Paolo. They were then that young. And then later on, when they bombed the facilities of Radio Veritas, and so we had to look for another station. And the cardinal was calling us, by phone. And then mine was, the U.S. Embassy was the one getting in touch with us, and always asking what's happening. So I would tell them to. And then later on, we had to look for another radio station. And Johnny Ponce and Colonel Ceron were the ones handling the one of Jacinto, DZRH, and the one in Santa Mesa. And I said, Colonel Ceron is with Johnny and Ramos Papa Bear. I said, and then so he said, okay. So anyway, we stationed June Keithley there and the two boys, but nobody knew. And they could see the tanks coming from Malacanang, because you know how it is, and going there. And nobody knew that June was there. And we continued giving her information. So the boys would call me. My code name was Lady in White,
Okay.
And we need more people in EDSA, part of Nagtahan. We need more people here, etc., etc. So that was what I would tell June. They need more people near Nagtahan, near etc., and near Santolan, blah blah blah. And June would do that very calmly and beautifully with her voice on radio. Nobody would think. And then the tanks are going that way.
Yes.
But she was so brave doing that,
How did Father Reuter basically help shape the values of several generations of Filipinos as an artist and mass communicator in over 60 years?
He didn't preach. He lived it. And that's one thing beautiful. He was a stricter on time, When he said, we begin at such and such a time, we really begin whether the actor or the actress is there. One time, Kim Atienza, we were in Rome. And then he didn't ask permission. As soon as we arrived, he went around right away, And luckily, he remembered the name of the place where we were. So when he took the hotel, he was able to find it.
Yeah.
But you see, in 5 minutes, he was not there.
Yeah.
So Father said, let's leave. Let's go. So, and then another time was we were having a play in St. Paul, Quezon City, Finian's Rainbow. And then one of the stars was late, okay? But you know what we did? He said, dress up so-and-so. With this costume and let her take the place. Luckily, she knows. She knew the role. But before the curtain opened, she arrived. So we had to rush dressing her up again, and putting out the costume, etc., etc. But he was a stickler on time. If you're not there, we would leave you.
So
we
he
left. So
he was a disciplinarian.
But a gentle disciplinarian. You couldn't afford to get angry with him, It was really something. The holiness in him, I think that's the one that really made him lovable. So up to now, they remember him. Everybody does.
And I understand, Sister, that you were there when he took his final
Oh,
breath.
yes. Yeah, and to me, I think that was a real gift. And I thank my superior for allowing me to do that. I was there, and then Sister Arlinda Pasina, he's one of our sisters also. He's cardiologist and internist. We were there all the time. And several hours before that, we were singing Immaculate Mother first. And then we thought he was very unconscious, that he didn't know what we were doing. But when we said, Ave, Ave, Ave Maria, he joined. So both of us were grasping our hands, and then she was already teary, but he was supposed to be dying. And finally, when the breath was getting shorter and shorter, I started singing, I'm Mary's child forever, forever Mary's child. I'm Mary's child forever, forever Mary's child. And then he just did like that. but we could see that his breath was getting shorter and shorter. And Sister Arlinda explained to me, she being the doctor, I don't know about medicine, she said, the shorter the breath, the nearer it is. So I knew. So we were holding each other, and then she was reading the prayer for the dying while I was singing that. And I felt so good that I was there in that sense, you know. Yeah. And I even brought the nurse with me. I brought the body to Arlington, but I didn't watch the embalming. No, I didn't, you know. But I feel so grateful that I was allowed to do that. I mean, that God allowed me to do all these things.
Yes.
This is my first time, Lisa,
Yeah.
to be right there beside a dying man and a dying person, and
A very holy person.
very holy
Sister,
to the end.
if Father Reuter was with us today, sitting here in our program, talking to the whole Philippines, what would his message be to the Filipinos?
Oh, he would always tell, the Filipinos are the most beautiful people in the world, and the Philippines is the most beautiful country. Yes, and he loves the Philippines very. He loved the people very, very, very much, you know, and he felt it a great honor that he was given the honorary citizenship.
And of course, he has shaped the lives of,
Of
so many Filipinos.
Yes, yes.
So many generations of Filipinos today.
Yes.
And for that, we are very thankful.
Very, very grateful. And I cannot thank him enough, even for my spiritual life up to now.
Thank you so much, Sister, for sharing
this
so
is-
many memories today. And of course, together, we will always remember Father Reuter. And we are very honored that we had you
Thank
today
you,
to
Lisa.
talk about him. And this was a very moving episode. Before I cry, okay, I have to do my closing spiel. Mga kaibigan, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa susunod na linggo, alas 3:30 ng hapon sa Art2art. Ito po si Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino at sa lahat ng Pilipinong nagmamahal sa bayan.